Prior to the season, Bucs quarterback Jameis Winston said the player he is most looking to face this year is J.J. Watt of the Texans. For more, down to the field, Holly Saunders. Holly.
Yeah, Kenny, you're exactly right. It's not very often that any quarterback is excited to face J.J. Watt. That's exactly how Jameis Winston is feeling. I spoke with him earlier. His face absolutely lit up. He said that he feels honored just to play on the same field as J.J. Watt. And when I relayed this over to J.J. simply smiled and said, ask him how he feels after the game. Kenny?
Thanks, Holly. We shall see about 3 hours from now. Should be fun to watch.
Yeah, Gosder Sherlis, the right tackle who's going to face J.J. Watt most of the afternoon, isn't too happy that Jameis keeps getting him stirred up.
Well, the Bucs have won the toss and elected to defer. A new artificial turf surface in use for the first time here in Houston today. The rookie out of Notre Dame, Kyle Brinza, gets things started. Quentin Depps is deep for the Texans, looking for their first victory. Houston 0-2, Tampa Bay 1-1 as Ryan Mallett leads the Texans offense out onto the field. It's his fourth career start, his second this season.
Got put into the lineup week 1 when Brian Hoyer kind of stalled a little bit. Coach O'Brien went with his gut, felt that the team needed a little bit of a spark. They had that battle during preseason camp, and Brian Hoyer won that job, but has made that change and said he's going to stay with Mallett for the foreseeable future.
Alfred Blue in the backfield. Texans still without Arian Foster, and this is Blue, and he takes it out to the 25-yard line, gain of 5 on first down.
And that's what they have to do. Sometimes it's not going to be pretty, but you've got to make a commitment to this running game, and it's not just one part of the offense. It's not just on these guys, the offensive linemen up front, the tight ends, the running backs, the fullback, the wide receivers. Everybody has to play their role.
On 2nd and 5, this is Blue. Gains 3 out to the 28. Gerald McCoy made the tackle. It will be 3rd down and 2.
And over on that Bucs defensive side of the ball, we talked about Gerald McCoy up front, but one of the guys that Lovie Smith wanted to talk about was the linebacker combination of Quan Alexander and Levante David. Feels that they're going to be big stars. I think you know a little bit about Levante David now. He was very, very high on Quan Alexander and him getting that defense coordinated.
Jonathan Grimes, the 3rd down back. Mallett looking to throw for the first time. And the catch is made out at the 35-yard line by DeAndre Hopkins. Underwent the concussion protocol and was clear.
Yeah, and a big concern all week long was he going to be able to play in the game today, and you need that big threat on the outside to help loosen up some of those defenses for that running game.
This is Grimes, his first carry. And Grimes gains 1. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Running back by committee here for the Houston Texans with Arian Foster out of the lineup. Was close to coming back today. Doesn't want to get back there until he's 100%. So we're going to see it by committee. Chris Polk, Jonathan Grimes, and Alfred Blue.
This is Grimes. And we spoke with Arian Foster prior to the game. He was out on the field warming up and feels that he's come along at a quicker pace than expected.
I think he's much further ahead than everybody thought he would be at this point, but he doesn't want to come back onto the field until he's 100%, and he's not limited. And we had this in the opener with Seattle. Seattle's offensive line was in flux, and the running game didn't look good. But Marshawn Lynch makes that offense look better when you're running the football. Arian Foster will cure a lot of the issues here with the running game when he gets back into the lineup.
Shuffling on that offensive line following injuries suffered by Jeff Adams and Wayne Brown. 3rd down and 7. Mallett to the near side. He was looking for Nate Washington, so the Texans pick up 1 first down on their opening possession, and now we'll send out the punting unit.
But I like the way they started the game with more of a commitment to the run, and you don't want to have that quick trigger to pull that. And you know, the games have been in the position where you haven't had to abandon the run. They've found some success in the passing game, but they've just leaned too far in that direction.
Bobby Rainey back deep, the 16-year vet, Shane Leckler. Boots it downfield, terrific kick. Rainey has trouble with it, scoops it up at the 9-yard line, and is taken down at the 12. Andre Howell with the special teams tackle following the 54-yard punt by Leckler. Jameis Winston and the Bucs offense when we return.
Sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Back in Houston, early first quarter. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will start from their 12 as J.J. Watt gets the crowd all fired up. Third NFL start for Jameis Winston. Vincent Jackson in motion. Movement prior to the snap. False start.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty.
That's the left guard, the 11-year vet, the long-time New England Patriot, Logan Mankins.
Yeah, a lot of changes in that lineup up in the front. You've got Joe Hawley in the new center. Got a couple rookies there. The last guy you would expect to jump in that situation is the veteran Logan Mankins.
So the Bucs go backwards before they run a play. First down and 15. Doug Martin takes the handoff from Winston, and he goes nowhere. So for Jameis Winston, victory on the road down at the Superdome last Sunday.
And it's going to be a process that he goes through. And I think that he was probably impacted by the nerves. Number 1 pick in the draft versus number 2 pick in the draft. The big showdown in the opener. How much did that impact his play? Had a negative play on his first pass attempt with the pick 6. Loved the way he bounced back and played last week on the road against the Saints.
5 defensive backs in for the Texans. Winston from the shotgun on 2nd and 15. Looking for Jackson. And Vincent Jackson able to make the catch for a first down out at the 26-yard line.
The heck of a throw and a lot of confidence in Vincent Jackson. Look at the coverage right there underneath, up top. You know you're going to take the big hit from Raheem Moore. The concentration on the catch by Vincent Jackson, that's excellent.
His 500th career reception, 124th NFL player to reach that mark. First and 10 from the 26 as Winston hits Mike Evans for a first down, and there is a flag. Kevin Johnson, first-round pick out of Wake Forest, on the coverage.
We've got big physical receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Texans said they were going to play aggressive on the outside.
Pass interference. Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty. Complete first down.
I think right now Bill Vinovich and his crew have just set the tempo for how we're going to call playing on the outside in the course of the afternoon. We'll watch it at the bottom of the screen. A lot of times you see the hand check, so they're going to call this game very, very close today. I did not see a lot by Mike Evans in that situation. Usually allow that hand checking to go by the wayside, but this crew will call pass interference tight on the outside by that first call.
So Evans still looking for his first reception of the season. That play opening week. First and 20 following the second. Penalty called on the Buccaneers offense on this drive as Martin gets swallowed up at the 16-yard line by Jadeveon Clowney. The Bucs offense.
Joe Hawley gets the start today. Evan Smith out of the center position. A couple of rookies in that starting 5, but the thing that has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers excited, Mike Evans back in the lineup, full go today. He had a hamstring in camp. Missed the 3rd and 4th preseason games. Was on a bit of a pitch count the first couple of weeks, but he's full go this afternoon.
Buccaneers are without their starting tight end, Austin Jenkins, due to a shoulder injury. Play clock inside 5 seconds. Down to 1. And a flag is thrown as Winston throws it away.
Prior to the snap, delay game. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So the Bucs unable to get the snap off in time. It is their 3rd penalty on their opening drive.
And one of the things that Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for the Bucs, would like to see, you see the spin on the leg right there with Jameis Winston getting wrapped up. He wants him to get that ball away quicker. Doesn't want him to put himself in positions to have an injury like we just saw there.
Second down and 25. They keep it on the ground with Martin. And he works his way out to the 21-yard line, brought down by Quentin Depps. So a 3rd and long coming up as we check out the Texans defensively.
Well, obviously, when you play the Texans, you've got to take care of J.J. Watt. He'll be all over that front, but they've got to have production from other people. Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless. We've got to start having production away from J.J. Watt. If everybody is focusing on J.J. Watt, then somebody else has to start making plays. The only other sack by the Houston Texans are two safeties. Eddie Pleasant and Quentin Dents share a half sack each.
Watt has 3 on the year. 3rd down and 15. Bucs must get to the 36 for a first. And they will not. Pass intended for Jackson, so penalties hurt the Buccaneers on their opening possession. They commit 3.
And that's part of the job of an offense, managing that crowd noise when you're on the road. Credit the Houston Texan fans here at the start of this game, really having an impact on the opening series by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were backed up.
Jacob Shump waiting inside his 10. Chandler Worthy back deep for the Texans. Shump immediately at the 36-yard line. Good play by Alteron Ferner on special teams. Jameis Winston, the rookie quarterback, 3rd NFL start, no score.
Bud Light, make the right call. Drink responsibly.
First quarter in Houston, no score. Couple of second-year head coaches with their respective franchises. Lovie Smith, Bucs 2-14 last season as he builds his program, and Bill O'Brien's Texans 9-7 a season ago.
Yeah, I think ready to really take that next step starting here in 2015, and very surprised by this 0-2 start.
Losses to the Chiefs and the Panthers. 1st and 10, 36-yard line. Pass is caught and taken out to the 45 by the tight end Garrett Graham, a gain of 9.
And we're going to go up-tempo here for the Houston Texans. And again, that is really, let's get this defensive front very talented for Tampa Bay. Let's get them moving.
2nd and 1 at Blue. Bursting into the backfield to make the tackle is Chris Conti. Spent 3 seasons playing for Lovie Smith in Chicago.
And if he can stay healthy, he's a good safety player. But he's had some injuries, and that's impacted his tackling ability. And Lovie had some great things to say about him. Was very impressed with the game that he had last week. You see some of those guys that he's brought in, Major Wright here last year, but Henry Melton, Tim Jennings, Chris Conti, some additions that came in the offseason. Helps Lovie Smith in this transition.
Major Wright out today. 3rd down and 3 as Mallett fires, and it's complete for a first down and taken into Buccaneers territory by the ex-Jaguar Cecil Shorts, the 3rd, a gain of 11.
Juan Alexander, an opportunity if he'd have broke on that ball, maybe to break it up at least, maybe a potential interception.
So the Texans with a new set of downs from the Tampa Bay 46 off the play fake to Grimes. The catch is made by Hopkins, and he takes it to the 28 for another Houston first down, gain of 18, but there is a flag. We'll check in with Bill Vinovich.
There's no foul for kill clock. There's no foul for 12 minutes on defense. There were only 11.
All right, so the flag has been picked up. Another new set of downs for the Texans. Offensive coordinator George Godsey, a Tampa native. The quarterback's coach last season. The Texans did not have an offensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien called the plays last year, and Alfred Blue picks out yet another Texans first down as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. And Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, here's a strange one. In St. Louis, the pregame pyrotechnics set the field on fire. They got the fire put out, but it has delayed the start of the game between the Steelers and the Rams. They're waiting it out right now. Kenny Moose and Holly.
Wow, thanks, Kurt. Texans in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Tampa Bay 17. This is Blue. Well, the Steelers offense was on fire last week. We had their game against the 49ers, and now the Steelers and Rams delayed due to the pregame pyrotechnics.
How many people would think a synthetic surface would catch on fire before the game? It's bizarre.
Second down and 2. Alfred Blue runs into a wall. Levante David wraps him up.
Getting into that point in the field, this is all about points. It's about scoring, and the Bucs have really, really struggled down here in the red zone this season. Opposition perfect in the red zone, scoring touchdowns.
Leslie Frazier, former head coach in Minnesota. Bucs defensive coordinator. Third down and 3 for the Texans. Mallett from the shotgun. Has time, throws. It's Grimes on the slant. And Jonathan Grimes picks up a Houston first down at the 5-yard line.
Former Texan DJ Swearinger down in to make the big hit. That's what he's known for from that safety spot, dropping down and putting some big hits on guys.
First and goal from the 5. Mallett to the end zone. He was looking for Washington. Jim Jennings, one of those former Bears, defending. Now second and goal. Hopkins split out to the right. Matched up with Jennings. 3 receivers to the left. Grimes in the backfield. Second and goal. Mallett. Hopkins. For a Texans touchdown.
Lot of separation very quickly down here at the bottom of the screen. DeAndre Hopkins going to run that slant route, beaten right off the release. You see the separation that he got from Tim Jennings. Easy throw catch for Ryan Mallett.
Third touchdown of the season for DeAndre Hopkins. His availability was in question during the week, underwent the concussion protocol. And he scores the first touchdown of the game. Randy Bullock now to attempt the 33-yard extra point. Texans lead 7-0. 10-play drive. Number 10 reaches the end zone.
Sponsored by Chrysler. Celebrate 90 years of innovation at the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration event. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Burger King. Kick off fall with the new Oreo Pumpkin Spice Shake.
We talked at the top about the Texans striking a balance in their play selection. You can't get much better than this to start the game. 8 runs, 8 passes, a couple of nice runs by Alfred Blue once they got down near the red zone on that last scoring drive.
Career high 58 pass attempts by Mallett in last week's game. We asked him when was the last time you ever threw 58 passes in a game. He said, I never did, even in high school. He said it felt like 40. Bucs will start from their 20. Following the Texans touchdown, Ryan Mallett to DeAndre Hopkins. 7-0 Houston. The Devian Clowney, first overall pick 2 drafts ago. Then it was Jameis Winston, first overall, chosen by the Bucs in 2015, facing one another today.
And Jadeveon Clowney with all those injuries last season, you know, the talk here is kind of like him start his rookie year all over again. They see the strides that he's taken, a little bit of an injury issue there to start preseason, but finish strong, has been taking steps each week here.
For Clowney, this is only his 7th NFL game. First and 10, 20-yard line for Winston and the Bucs. And Evans able to make the catch for a Buccaneers first down.
You can see why offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter and Lovie Smith both very excited to have Mike Evans back in the lineup. And that's a back shoulder throw on the fade. Look at the concentration, the body control to spin out and get that ball. He is a matchup issue across the board.
20 yards. He had a terrific season, did Evans last year as a rookie. That's his first catch of the year. Not played 2 weeks ago, limited last week. Martin, gain of 5. Brian Cushing the tackle. The new offensive coordinator for the Bucs, spent the last 3 seasons in the same role in Atlanta. There he is, Dirk Cutter.
And just timing, Lovie Smith has had his eye on Dirk Cutter when he's had an opportunity as a head coach in the past, but things just haven't worked out. They worked out this past year, brought Dirk Cutter, and he likes the fact that he had the experience with Maurice Jones-Drew in the running game down in Jacksonville. Also, Matt Ryan, in the time he spent there with the Atlanta Falcons, knows the run and pass well.
Martin bottled up on 2nd and 5, hit for a loss of a yard.
You know, sometimes when you have an athletic guy in the defensive front, you want to run right at him. But when he's as big as J.J. Watt is, I don't think that works very well. Going against Ali Marpet, a rookie from Hobart, small school up there in New York State. He's never seen anybody like J.J. Watt out on the football field. Not many people have.
Welcome to the NFL, Ali. 2 rookies starting on the offensive line for the Bucs. Donovan Smith out of Penn State at left tackle. 3rd down and 6. Bucs must get to midfield for a first down as Winston fires downfield looking for Evans. This time unable to hold on with Jonathan Joseph defending.
This is really nice on both sides. Jonathan Joseph in great position in his coverage, but I want you to watch how Mike Evans plays this. They call it late hands. He's going to run. Now, one of the tips that the cornerback will get as you're looking back is when do your hands come up? You'll start to adjust with your hands. On everything that's being thrown downfield to Mike Evans, he's real late with his hands, which gives him the advantage. It doesn't allow that cornerback to turn around and make a play on the ball.
Jacob Shum punting for the 2nd time. Cecil Shorts, the 3rd back deep for the Texans. Short kick. Shorts falls for the fair catch at the 26-yard line. Only a 30-yard kick. Good stand by the Houston defense. They lead by 7. First 2 possessions for the Texans on their last drive. 10 plays, 64 yards and a touchdown.
Really nice drive on that last one for the touchdown. Good mix of run and pass. He had the change in tempo. Went up tempo primarily on that 2nd drive. Get this Tampa Bay defense running, get them tired out, make them move laterally.
And the Bucs defense without Jonathan Banks suffered a knee injury. His return is doubtful, so Mike Jenkins, a former Pro Bowler, is in at right corner. From the 28-yard line, Allen's pass is dropped by Nate Washington.
That was a big issue last week for the Texans. A lot of drops in that game against Carolina.
They committed 8 in that game last week, but O'Brien said we need to catch the ball better than we did against the Panthers. Chris Polk in the backfield, 2nd and 10. This time Washington makes the catch and picks up the Texans first down out to the 42-yard line, a 14-yard completion.
The completion allows you to get into this up-tempo style of offense. When it's incomplete, you're going back into the huddle. It slows it down. So if this is something that you feel is important today, it puts a priority on making those short completions.
Allen has completed 7 of his first 10 attempts. First and 10 from the 42 on the slant. Another completion, this time it is Shorts. Out to the 49-yard line, gain of 7, setting up 2nd down and 3. Holt remains in the backfield. This is his first carry. Spins away from Levante David. Good second effort, and Chris Polk has a Houston first down.
A good hard run by Chris Polk right there, because Levante David is very, very talented as a linebacker. Doesn't miss a whole lot of tackles, and watch him run through his arms right here. Just going to spin out of that, keep his feet. He's got him stopped short of the distance for the first down, but he's able to break through for that tackle, get that first down.
David, the 3rd leading tackler in the entire league last season. New set of downs off the play fake, and then a pump fake. Mallett down back at the 46-yard line. Touchdown by the ex-Bear, Henry Melton.
But I like that decision by Ryan Mallett right there. You think you're going to have that play action open down the middle of the field. Good job in coverage by the Buccaneers. Don't force it. Don't give a negative play back to your opponent.
Goes in the books, has a sack for Melton, his first of the season. Second down and 11. 1 minute remaining, first quarter in Houston. Here's Polk. And this time the Bucs able to bring him down back behind the line. It's Quan Alexander, the rookie out of LSU.
Yeah, but let's give that one to Henry Melton. Henry Melton just drove the right side of the Texans offensive line into the backfield. If you force the running back to make that decision too soon, it's a huge plus for your defense. Your pursuit from the linebacker level will get there. That was all Henry Melton.
That's 2 consecutive negative plays for the Texans. Melton involved in both. Third down at 14, 2 tight ends set. Texans must get to the Bucs 35 for a first. Mallett loads of time, he pulls it in. Down it goes, the ball comes loose. And it is recovered by the Bucs. Jaquise Smith, who leads the NFL in sacks. There is a flag. Smith falls on it after Mallett coughed it up.
Holding. Defense number 36. 5-yard penalty. 1 minute first down.
Wow, big penalty right there, because this is a heck of a play by Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy is going to push that pocket, get in for the sack. Watch 93 working inside, continues to work. Ryan Mallett's got to have that clock in his head. He doesn't have 2 hands on. As he starts to move and scramble, he's got that ball down low in 1 hand.
But penalty committed by the ex-Texan Swearinger against the turnover, and the Texans maintain possession, and now a timeout is taken by the Bucs. They may have had an extra man on the field.
First charge timeout.
Lovie Smith returning to his home state, native of Big Sandy, Texas, which is 220 miles north of Houston.
Expecting a big contingent coming down. A lot of Texas ties in our game today. Good to see Lovie Smith again. We haven't had a chance to visit with him. Didn't get a chance to see him in the 2014 season, so enjoyed the conversation we had with him yesterday. Always good talking football with Lovie Smith.
How about what he told us? He said, I've answered more questions about J.J. Watt this week than any other player in my career. Now, remember, Lovie faced Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 41, and they had 2 weeks to ask him about Peyton following the championship games.
It just tells you how big J.J. Watt is on the NFL scene.
Following the timeout, first and 10, 46-yard line. This will take us to the end of the first quarter as Polk gains a couple. Well, no delay here in Houston, as was the case in St. Louis. Texans lead 7-0. Back in Houston, the first quarter numbers, Buccaneers with twice as many penalties as first downs in the first quarter. 4 penalties committed by Tampa Bay. We start the second quarter, second down and 9. Mallett over the top to the 38-yard line. Pass caught by Washington to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
In a matchup of unbeatens, Dallas's Joseph Randle, 2 touchdown runs to start the game in the first 2 possessions. Atlanta comes back with Devontae Freeman. It's 14-7. They get ready to start the second quarter. Back down the state of Texas to Kenny Moose and Holly.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Third down and 4 for the Texans. They must get to the 34-yard line. As Mallett throws, and Hopkins unable to hang on. Further on the coverage for the Bucs.
A lot of good defensive play here early in the game on the outside. Alteron Werner, step for step. Good DeAndre Hopkins right there. I mean, we've seen probably 4 shots down the field now with great coverage, each defense.
Leckler out to punt for the second time. Good effort by Leckler, but the Texans unable to keep it out of the end zone. Leckler, the Houston area native, now in his 16th season. And on Friday, he returned to East Bernard High School for a special event, the Super Bowl High School Honor Roll. He delivered a commemorative golden football to honor his high school for their contribution to Super Bowl history. Shane served as the honorary captain for their game, delivered a pre-game speech as well. A memorable night for Shane Leckler and the East Bernard community.
A great program by the NFL. Anybody who's had the privilege to play in a Super Bowl gets that golden football, and they give them back to their high schools in appreciation for the teachers and the coaches during those formative years.
And Shane Leckler played in his Super Bowl as a member of the Oakland Raiders. Lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in January of 2003. Catches made by Evans out at the 36-yard line. 16-yard pass play and a Tampa Bay first down. Speaking of Super Bowls, how about these two guys? Romeo Crennel has 5 rings, and that's Mike Vrabel on his left.
Yeah, a lot of New England ties down here with the influence of with Coach O'Brien. Romeo Crennel, one of the most popular defensive coordinators in the league. Guys love him. The guys that play for him. Mike Vrabel, what a very, very talented defensive player with the Patriots.
Winston connects with Evans once again for another Tampa Bay first down at the Houston 47-yard line. 17-yard pass play.
Well, when you're going to go number 1 overall as a quarterback, there's a lot of boxes you're going to check, and obviously the first one is, can he make all the throws? And I tell you what, I am very impressed with Jameis Winston at the start of this game. There's pressure in his face. He's standing in that pocket. That's a heck of a throw on that comeback. Look at the arm right there by Jadeveon Clowney coming in to close that down.
Only 2 first downs in the first quarter for Tampa Bay. 2 on this drive, on their last 2 plays. From the 46, this is Charles Sims, the Houston native, spent 3 years at the University of Houston, his first carry, and he's wrapped up by the combination of Watt and Cushing.
One of the things that J.J. Watt talked to the reporters here in Houston about this week is we're not playing our brand of football. And, he said we're not flying around. I don't see us, excited to play. We're not getting upfield. You're seeing that here at the beginning of this game. The Texans are really kind of pushing that line of scrimmage back into Tampa Bay's backfield.
Loss of 3 on the play, second down and 13. Split backs for the Bucs. From midfield, Winston on second down, quick release, and it's broken up by Jonathan Joseph. Pass intended for Lewis Murphy.
Just had it a little bit behind on that back shoulder. You're running that comeback. You need that ball out in front a little bit. Allow Lewis Murphy to work downhill to get that ball and get out to the sideline.
Winston 4 of 7. 3 of his 4 completions have gone to Mike Evans. Look at the 10-year vet, 2-time Pro Bowler Jonathan Joseph, who made the nice defensive play. Third down and 13. Bucs must get to the 36. Winston cuts away from Watt, still under pressure, hit by Jared Crick. Catch is made, but not enough for a first down by the tight end, Brandon Myers, at the 40-yard line.
J.J. Watt will move across the formation. This time he moves to the right defensive end, going up against rookie Donovan Smith. Left tackle, no help, one-on-one. Good job running him past the pocket. And there's the big hit on Jameis Winston as he gets rid of that.
Now, you spoke to Kyle Brinza prior to the game, and he told you he felt good from what range?
He feels good from 65, and he's told Lovie Smith he can go to 70.
Well, this is a 58-yard attempt. He hit from 55 last week in New Orleans. From the left hash, Jacob Shum places it down and brings his kick from 58 yards out is straight through.
You know what, when somebody tells you they're good from 70, a lot of that is just the bravado of the kicker. Let me tell you what, this kid could be good from 70. Holy cow.
From 58, wow.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. By Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. And by DraftKings. Free one-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com.
Welcome back. Early second quarter. Texans with a 7-3 lead. There's Kyle Brinza, who just hit the second longest field goal in Buccaneers franchise history. Matt Bryant still going strong with Atlanta. Connected from 62 for the franchise record. So the Buccaneers are on the board. Quick Depps. Depps out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. So Ryan Mallett leads the Texans offense back onto the field.
They've established a good rhythm here at the start of the game. I like the balance in their play calling this week as opposed to the previous 2 weeks. Let's have a little bit of confidence in our guys up front. And Coach O'Brien told us, he goes, listen, it's not their fault. You know, we've got breakdowns across the board. It's not just on the offensive line and the changes. Okay, well then let's give them an opportunity. And he's done that today, and they've responded.
Texans start from the 22-yard line. This is Alfred Blue. He breaks one tackle and takes it out to the 26 for a gain of 4.
That's surprising. That's Levante David again. That's his second missed tackle. This one is going to be a tackle for a loss, which is, you know, big. You're looking at second and long now. You really shift the thinking of the offense, but Alfred Blue breaks it, gets positive yards.
On 2nd and 6, quick release. And then wrapped up immediately is Chandler Worthy, the rookie out of Troy.
One of the things you will see from this Tampa Bay defense is hustle to the football. You know, traditional when you're talking about Lovie Smith and the impact with Tony Dungy and all the guys that have come off of his coaching tree, one of the things they preach is hustle to the football. And you get graded on lows when they break down the game film. And you're going to see 5, 6, 7 defenders around that ball.
Swearinger has replaced Bradley McDougald. Left the field after the previous play. And the catch is made for a first down by Hopkins, and then 2 flags are thrown. Tim Jennings on the coverage.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 28. Penalties decline, result of the play, first down.
Tim Jennings up here at the top, working against DeAndre Hopkins. Once you get beyond 5 yards, you got to release contact with the receiver. And then at the end of the throw right here, Ryan Mallett comes out holding that hand. You wonder if that thumb hit something as he was following through on that throw.
The free safety McDougald has returned for the Bucs after sitting out 2 plays. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. And Blue, after stumbling, found a hole and gains 8.
He's been very, very patient with the ball. And it's not once you get the ball, it's once you make your decision as a runner. You can see the patience right there. A little bit of a stumble there, but I've been impressed with Alfred Brew here at the beginning of the game with his patience, his change of speed. He's had a couple of really nice runs that didn't look like much when he got the ball.
Second season out of LSU, a 6th-round pick last year, averaging just under 5 yards per carry. Tight end set, 2nd and 2. And Blue has a Texans first down running to the left side where those 2 tight ends were set up for Norwitz and Graham.
Let's give some congrats to Ode Abushi coming in this week and jumping in here in the starting lineup today, playing that left guard spot, and they've been leaning on that left side a little bit in the running game behind the new guy.
He started 10 games for the Jets last year. His offensive line coach was Mike Devlin. Now has the same position with the Texans. So Devlin knows Abushi well. Buccaneers use their 2nd timeout of the first half. Again, an extra man on the field. Head coach Bill O'Brien, his Texans have doubled up the Bucs as far as number of plays to this point.
And a lot of change of pace here. We've got nice balance between run-pass. So Coach Gotze right there. Nice game plan today and staying true to it.
Following the timeout on first down, Mallett fires, and a sliding catch is made for a first down by Shorts. 18-yard pickup.
I like the placement of the ball in the Cecil shorts coming out of the slot. Watch, it's going to be thrown underneath. And why? Because you got safety help over the top coming in there. There's Bradley McDougal. He was going to come in and put a big hit on that throw if it's not low and away.
From the Tampa Bay 34. On first down, the handoff to Blue. And he's wrapped up after a gain of just one by Golston as we head to Los Angeles. Kurt.
Bucs is made out of Jameis Winston's first pass being a pick six. Marcus Mariota evens the count, even though that really wasn't his fault. Off the hands of Delaney Walker into the arms of Dwight Lowry, and he takes it for a pick six of 69 yards and a score. It's 14-3 right now, Indy. Kenny Moose and Holly.
All right, thanks, Kurt. And the only losses Winston has suffered in college and the NFL to this point have come against Marcus Mariota.
The nemesis.
Blue this time met by the combination of David and McDonald, so it will be 3rd down and 14 for the Texans. Texans have converted on 4 of 6 3rd downs today. They must get to the Tampa Bay 24. This is Grimes as the Texans keep it on the ground. Now a flag is thrown.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
There's 79 leading the way right there. Coming in on Quan Alexander, misses and then just hooks him and pulls him. That's an easy call right there.
So the Texans forced back out of field goal range. First penalty committed by Houston today. Right guard Brandon Brooks. 3rd down and 24. Shorts in motion. And the pass is off the hands of Cecil Shorts. No, the Texans will punt it away. So had Brooks not been flagged, Texans would have attempted approximately a 53-yard field goal, taken out of field goal range due to the flag, and now Leckler will punt.
Yeah, one of those tough decisions for a coach in that situation. Do you take the penalty, decline it? Are they going to go for that 53-yard field goal? That's why it's important to watch those kickers pregame to see what their distances are.
End over end taken at the 12, and then Rainey lost the handle, falls on it at the 18-yard line. Close call for the Bucs. Following the 34-yard punt through the hands of Bobby Rainey.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
Back in Houston, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Holly Saunders. Texans with a 7-3 lead. A look at Winston's numbers.
He's off to a good start, but this is a critical possession right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Texans were kind of in a rhythm. It seized the momentum the last couple of drives. They've kind of just laid it out there. It's waiting to be taken. Is it going to be Tampa Bay's offense or Houston's defense on this series that seizes that momentum?
1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Off the play fake. Winston throws across the field, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver, the tight end, Brandon Myers.
I like the play call on first down, aggressive down the field throw. Got some tight ends in the formation, making it look like run. You go play action, good protection in the pocket. Now we're going to run that little flat route right there, wide open, a little bit high, and they got lucky right there. Quentin Demps almost had an opportunity for an interception.
2nd and 10 from the 17. This is Martin. Nothing there.
You hear about his ability as a pass rusher, but that time he lines up at the right defensive tackle and just works down the line. He is relentless in his pursuit. Quick step, arm over, and he is down the line of scrimmage. He's moving around a little bit more today, Kenny. He's been in his traditional left-end spot a lot in the first couple of games. We've seen him across the formation. Back at the right defensive end again now, working against rookie Donovan Smith.
On 3rd and 12, off the play fake. Winston unable to connect. On 3rd down.
So that's that quick screen right there. So you're asking Donovan Smith to kind of get out and be the blocker on the edge, but you've got J.J. Watt. So, you know, how much do I get of him? You've got to get that feel. Do I get enough in protection to allow Jameis Winston to even have the opportunity to throw?
First 3 and out for the Bucs today. Schum lined up at his own 1-yard line. Moving to his left, Chandler Worthy from the 33. Knocked out of bounds, and there is a flag. Out of bounds at the 41. So we will check in with referee Bill Vinovich.
After the play was over, personal foul. Receiving team number 50. Late hit. 15-yard penalty. Houston keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
That's out of Cape Kent. Texans football when we return. Across the parking lot, the Astrodome. That is where AstroTurf debuted nearly a half-century ago. New surface here today, and for more, check in with Holly.
Yeah, Kenny, well, part of having the home team advantage is knowing the surface that you'll be playing on, but that is not the case with the Texans today. The natural grass surface they're used to playing on is not quite up to their standards. They noticed this during the first game of the season, also preseason. They use the tray system, and there are many seams in between the grass. They're quite large, and some pose potential threats to the players, injury to the players, so they have every intention of moving back to grass next season, but for the rest of 2015, it's AstroTurf.
Pass from Holly, the pass deflected. And then Quan Alexander comes up with the pick, landing on that new surface.
And that's great presence by Quan Alexander because he is going backwards in coverage, but he's got his eyes on the play. He sees the deflection of the pass, plants his foot, and breaks on the ball. Watch the effort to get that interception.
Danny Lansana got a piece of it, and the diving interception made, first of his NFL career by Alexander.
Now it looks like he's got his hands underneath.
All turnovers are reviewed. Buccaneers offense out on the field.
But just great awareness, and there's an example of why Lovie Smith is so high on Quan Alexander, Levante David, that combination of linebackers, and how historical is it to have those two linebackers in this Tampa 2 style defense. He's going backwards in coverage, recognizes the deflection.
Number 64, report is eligible.
And he's able to plant that foot, make a break on the ball, and get the interception. And we talked about momentum in that last series. Who is it going to be, the Tampa offense or the Houston defense that seizes it? It happens a series later. It's actually Quan Alexander and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that have seized that momentum, giving their offense great field position.
As you heard from Bill Vinovich, number 64, Kevin Panfield, in as an extra blocker, lined up on the left side. On the toss, it's Martin. And Doug Martin takes it down to the 17-yard line for a gain of 4.
And really good to see Doug Martin back running the way we saw early in his career. You watch it on film, and it's a big reason why Jameis Winston is comfortable in this offense when you can lean on that running game. And you got a couple of rookies up front, so very impressed with what Tampa Bay is doing running the football.
2nd and 6, Martin out, split backs, Sims and Rainey lined up on either side of Winston. Winston on 2nd down, there is a flag. Pass intended for Sims, Cushing defending.
Trying to figure out whether they want to accept the penalty or not. We talked about
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
we saw Kyle Brinson, his kick on that last possession and a couple possessions earlier. I don't think we can push him back far enough right now. There's Vince Wilfork, big guy. Everybody talks about him anchoring the inside and, clogging up running lanes. You see right there the veteran savvy, recognizing that screen, disrupting it, forcing that penalty.
He draws the penalty, the hold committed by former Falcon Joe Hawley. Bucs empty the backfield, second down at 16. Quick release by Winston. This is Sims. Sims has running room. He's inside the 10, the 5, and he dives in for the touchdown. Charles Sims returning home to Houston. Takes it 32 yards to give the Buccaneers the lead.
I tell you what, this play did not look like it was going to produce much. Looked like Houston had it defended well. Jameis Winston gets it out there quick, but it's a good job defensively by the Texans. Watch this on the outside. You're going to bounce back on the screen. Mike Evans gets the first block, and then the players continue to move over there in pursuit to try and make the blocks. Look at the hustle down the field by the Tampa Bay players.
Second NFL touchdown for Sims. He spent his first 3 collegiate seasons at the University of Houston, transferred to West Virginia, third-round pick last year. Brinson hits the upright after connecting on a 58-yard field goal earlier. No good on the 33-yard extra point attempt. Charles Sims has given the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the lead, set up by the Quan Alexander interception.
Danny Lansana gets the deflection. Quan Alexander back in coverage, recognizes it, eyes back on the quarterback with the interception, and then Charles Sims. That was a heck of a job, because really that was a screen that I did not think had a lot of chance to be successful. A great job of patience and a step back that allowed all those blockers to get in position to clear that running lane.
Quick depth steep for the Texans, and he will take it out from 5 yards deep. And he will not make it to the 20. Out to the 17-yard line with under 4 minutes remaining. Second quarter here in Houston. Texans took a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. But the Buccaneers with a long field goal, and then the Sims touchdown here in the second. Mallett 12 of 18. 1 touchdown and the interception by Alexander. DeAndre Hopkins with the Texans TD. This is the worst starting field position for Houston today. From the 17-yard line on first down, it's Alfred Blue. Blue out to the 24-yard line for a gain of 7.
Concerns about the running game coming into the regular season, and maybe a little unhappiness by Alfred Blue, who at times last season when Arian Foster was out came in and filled in very well about it being done running back by committee. Some guys like to get into that rhythm, get into that flow. I think that's exactly what Alfred Blue is like, but it's going to move forward by committee.
On 2nd and 3, play action, and a diving catch made out at the 37-yard line by Cecil Shorts. Gain of 14 yards.
Success in the running game allows you to run play action.
First and 10 from the 38. And Blue continues to run well. Blue gains 9, out to the 47-yard line.
It's just got a good base as he's moving forward, good balance, good patience moving towards the line. We talked about Odeyabushi on the left side. Arian Foster's happy with that play, and now we've got the right side kicking in. Brandon Brooks and Derek Newton doing a nice job on that right side.
53 yards on the ground for Blue, adding to his totals as he picks up the first down into Buccaneers territory to the Tampa Bay 45 as we approach the 2-minute warning here in Houston. Mallett trying to get another play off before we hit 2 minutes, but he will not be able to. So with the Texans on the move, we've hit the 2-minute warning here in Houston. with Jameis Winston and the Buccaneers leading by 2. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Buccaneers capitalizing following a Texans turnover. Lead 9-7. Fourth NFL start for Ryan Mallett. First and 10, 45-yard line. Mallett to the near side. There is a flag as the catch is made by Nate Washington. Gain of 13 again. Bill Vinovich.
Holding. Defense number 24. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
It's Mike Jenkins. Still in for the injured Jonathan Banks. Penalty decline. First down, Houston.
Down here at the bottom, working against Nate Washington. Calling it tight on the outside.
From the 33, this is Blue. And Blue again, terrific second effort. Down inside the 25-yard line.
Brandon Brooks is slow to get up for the Houston Texans. So many injuries and changes in that offensive line. We've talked about his patience. We've talked about his stride. There's a little bit of power from Alfred Blue.
Brooks heading to the sideline. We mentioned earlier, Texans with their third different starting offensive line combination in 3 games today.
And we just paid off that side of the line of scrimmage. Brandon Brooks and Derek Newton, right guard, right tackle. That's where Alfred Blue was making a lot of his yardage early in this drive. Take a look and see what happened. You got that run to the left, so you're zone blocking, you're running with everybody and kind of fall down on that pile.
Texans offensive line already without the 2-time Pro Bowler Dwayne Brown. Now with a thumb injury. Jeff Adams, their starting right tackle, placed on injured reserve this week. So Kendall Lamb has come into the game. He's at right tackle. And Derek Newton moves inside to right guard. Jonathan Grimes in the backfield, second down and 2. Allen's pass cannot be handled by DeAndre Hopkins. Again, Jenkins on the coverage.
Again, impressed by both defensive secondaries. Mike Jenkins in coverage right here, eyes back. He stumbles a little bit, but boy, he's playing that perfect. They're trying to go to that back shoulder fade style, and he's able to stay step for step with his eyes back on the quarterback. Slips at the last second, but DeAndre Hopkins cannot take advantage.
Third down and 2. Allen again looking for Hopkins. No flags. Jenkins defending.
And we've talked about how effective they've been running the football. You get the big gain on first down. You got second and short, third and short, and we go pass, pass. And now we've got the field goal unit trotting out.
This will be a 43-yard attempt. Randy Bullock, 3 for 3 on the season. From the left hash, Leckler places it down. And Bullock's kick is off the right upright. It is no good. So the Texans come away with nothing. Second consecutive kick we've seen off the right upright. The extra point attempt by Brinza earlier in this quarter.
Well, Jameis Winston put together a nice drive the end of the half last week against the New Orleans Saints to get some momentum. Came out and followed it up with a opening drive to start the second half. We'll see if he's got one in him this afternoon here. Left him a lot of time on that clock, minute and 31 left.
Buccaneers have one timeout. They use 2 on defense. And remember, the Bucs deferred at the start of the game, so they will also get the ball to start the second half. Charles Sims in the backfield. Takes the handoff from Winston, and he is met immediately by, guess who? J.J. Watt.
Again, that's just such great athleticism. You're stepping down with the guard, and then you just plant your foot, arm over. The tackle can't get down to seal you off. You're in the backfield. You can see why Lovie Smith had to answer so many questions about him this week.
More than any player he's ever been asked about. Texans use their second timeout.
That is impressive, the fact that he's in Chicago playing against Favre. It's a division rival, and yet he feels J.J. Watt was the person that he had to answer the most questions about during the week of preparation.
Loss of 4 on first down. 2nd and 14. Winston's pass caught by the tight end Myers. So Brandon Myers caught 79 balls for the Raiders back in 2012, stepping up in the absence of Varian Jenkins. He gains 4. 3rd down and 10.
And Joe Hawley a little slow getting up on that last play. He's the backup center in for Evan Smith today.
A minute 22 remaining in the half. Each team with 1 timeout. 3rd down and 10. Split back, Sims and Rainey. Bucs must get to the 43. Winston moving to his right, throws, and the catch is made for a first down by Vincent Jackson. Wide open in Texans territory. Needed 10, gained 21.
Yeah, that's kind of strange that he got that open. No, he was actually on the outside. I thought it was the slot receiver coming, and they had a combination on the outside to free him out, but that's just Vincent Jackson working the outside spot, just running a straight comeback route.
His second catch today from the Texans 46 on first down. Winston looking for Jackson again, but this time Jonathan Joseph all over Vincent Jackson. It will be 2nd and 10.
That's one of the things that everybody talked about. We had an opportunity to visit with Vincent Jackson. We talked to Lovie Smith about it. We talked to Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, about Jameis Winston, and it's that just kind of that positive feel. He's never, and everything never seems too big for him. He's very confident in what he's doing. You can see that right here in this 2-minute situation. Very poised for a young guy.
21 years of age, 2nd and 10, 46-yard line. Winston's pass broken up this time by the number 1 pick out of Wake Forest, Kevin Johnson.
Working the left side of the field now. Trips formation. Good job by Kevin Johnson recognizing that, breaking on the ball, getting there in time to make the deflection.
Got his hand in front of Lewis Murphy. Now 3rd down and 10. Buccaneers have converted just once today. 1 for 5 on 3rd down. Winston steps up and throws, and the catch is made by Mike Evans for a Tampa Bay first down at the Houston 30-yard line. But now it is ruled an incomplete pass. Initially looked like a catch, but it hit the ground, and Bucs will send out the punting unit. Back judge Jim Quirk made the call. So Shum waiting back at his 40-yard line. So this would be a 65 yard
right on that cusp. I don't think he's got Lovie sold on it yet.
And that's the key word, not yet.
Yeah.
So Shum punts it away. Good hang time and a fair catch is called for back at the 11-yard line. Look at what's coming up on the Visa halftime report.
All right, we're getting ready for the Visa halftime. The Bengals and Ravens match up in an AFC North clash. The Steelers take their high-powered offense to St. Louis, and the Colts try to change their luck against the Titans. Those highlights and more coming up on the Visa halftime.
All right, Kurt, we look forward to it. Here in Houston, a 9-7 lead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Final minute, second quarter. Texans with one timeout. They start at their 11th. Allen moving to his left. Pass sails away from Hopkins as Allen took a hit and McCoy slow to get up.
And he was early in the week. There was concerns about an injury he sustained coming out of that Saints game last week. Again, that elbow arm area.
McCoy felt better as the week progressed, but he heads to the sidelines. Texans keep it on the ground on second down. And now a timeout is taken by Lovie Smith. The final Tampa Bay timeout.
Well, I think on that last series, if you elect to go for that really, really long field goal try, you're going to give the Houston Texans excellent field position at about your 45-yard line. Now, what Lovie Smith may be trying to do right here is get one more opportunity where he affords Kyle Brinza the shot at a very, very long field goal with no time on the clock. Is we see Gerald McCoy coming back out on the field, but boy, I tell you what, it still looks like he's in a tremendous amount of pain.
36 seconds away from halftime. The Bucs with no timeout, so Houston can keep the ball on the ground, and if they don't pick up the first, let the clock run all the way down. And that is the case. So the Texans took the 7-0 lead in the first quarter on the mallet to Hopkins. Touchdown pass. Brinza with a 58-yard field goal for the Bucs, and then Winston hitting Sims on a screen. So Lovie Smith's Bucs lead by 2 at the half, and they will get the ball first in the third quarter.
As you pointed out, Kenny, smart decision by the Houston Texans right there, not trying to do something silly in that situation that would have stopped the clock for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to have that work out.
Take it back to the first quarter. Mallet hitting DeAndre Hopkins. And then after a Tampa Bay field goal, Winston to Sims, and he does the rest. The Houston native into the end zone for his second NFL score. Buccaneers coming off their win in New Orleans last Sunday. Texans at 0-2. First 0-2 start since 2008. Looking to get on the board with a victory for the first time this season.
I like the way they executed their game plan there in the first half. The Houston Texans committing to the run, striking some balance, not getting off balance and being heavy on the pass by half. And Tampa Bay on the road, falling behind. This crowd was very energized early. They stayed together and took them out of it as the half wore on.
So the Bucs lead by 2. We head to Los Angeles for the Visa halftime. Buccaneers lead the Texans 9-7. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Texans at home looking for their first win. They took the early lead. Mallet to Hopkins, but the Bucs would come back. Charles Sims into the end zone in the second quarter. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. And Tampa Bay will get the ball first in the third quarter as we check out the first half numbers.
You can see that the Houston Texans have kind of controlled the flow of the game. Quite a substantial lead in plays, obviously time of possession, some yardage totals there. The big thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no turnovers. And that's a critical part when you're starting a rookie quarterback. And it's one of the things that Houston talked about wanting to get back to. They were very good at that at the end of 2014. They've only got one takeaway so far here in 2015. So I really think that that's a point of emphasis. So a credit to Tampa Bay with their ball security there in the first half.
And the one Houston turnover led to points for the Buccaneers.
Absolutely. It's a huge indicator of how games, they turn here at the NFL level.
Second half underway here in Houston. And Brady will let it go through. Jameis Winston in his third NFL start leads the Bucs offense out onto the field, and I know you've been impressed with Winston so far today.
I have, and you talked to Lovie Smith, and he checked all the boxes. He did a lot of research on Jameis Winston. There was a lot of stories about him coming out of Florida State, wanted to make sure that he was going to make his own decisions, and one of the big things is, can he throw the ball? Well, we saw several examples there in the first half with some great throws. I like his poise on the field. I like the response that you got from everybody that we talked to, that this thing is not too big for him, that he's very poised, he works hard at it, it means a lot to him, and he really just wants to be a part of turning this Tampa Bay franchise around. He doesn't want to be the guy. He just wants to be a part of the team that turns this around.
Coming off the 2-win season last year, Winston on first down, complete to Evans for a Buccaneers first down, 18-yard pass play.
It's been kind of all or nothing on our coverage in the secondary. Look at that cushion with Vincent Jackson off the line of scrimmage. We've seen him play very, very tight, but that's a tough ask right there with Mike Evans coming off the line of scrimmage with that much of a cushion.
His fourth catch today, and now Martin running right out to the 42-yard line. And you talk about all the homework that Lovie Smith and the Bucs did on Jameis Winston. Lovie, prior to the draft, visited Winston's hometown. He said, I talked to everybody, his parents, his grandmother, teachers, coaches.
From a similar town that Lovie Smith is from. Lovie's from Big Sandy, Texas, where Jameis Winston is from, is very small town. It's just like that. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody he spoke to had great things to say about Jameis Winston.
Second down and 7. Winston from the shotgun to the outside, and pass could not be handled by Mike Evans.
If J.J. Watt gets a little deflection on this, you can see that as it spins out. But still, that ball thrown strong enough to get to Mike Evans. He's got to make that catch. It looks like he does everything. It didn't look like he turned his head too soon.
Now third down and 7. Bucs just 1 for 6 on third down today. They must get to the 48. Winston fires over the middle, and it is picked off by Quentin Dempsey. Pass intended for Evans. He just mentioned the Texans had only one takeaway in 2.5 games. They come up with one on the opening possession of the third quarter.
And he got impatient, and he forced this one. And we've seen the in route over and over in that first half, and it's usually been to Mike Evans, and he went to the well one time too often here. Quentin Dempsey plays it perfect. Look at him underneath, reading that route. There's absolutely no reason for Jameis Winston to try and make that throw. Covered perfectly by the Texans secondary.
12th career pick for Dempsey, the former Eagle, Chief, and Giant. On first down, it's Alfred Blue into Buccaneers territory. A first down and more, and then a couple of flags are thrown at the end of the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 23, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Chris Conte gets a hold of it, and then you start to turn. You can see even Alfred Blue's got his hand on Chris Conte's, but he's not twisting it. He's got it placed on that, and they go with the call against Chris Conte because they felt that he grabbed and pulled the face mask.
So a 14-yard run, and then you add on the 15-yard penalty. First down for the Texans from the Bucs 26. Stutter step by Blue. And then he makes something out of nothing as he dives ahead to the 22-yard line for a gain of 4.
A little bit of frustration from William Golston because he did his job as the right defensive end. He got that push up the field and had that play kind of stalled in the backfield, but that Tampa Bay pursuit we've seen in that first half wasn't there to rally for the tackle.
Allen from the shotgun off the play fake. It's knocked down and nearly picked off by Quan Alexander, who had a pick earlier.
Well, Ryan Mallett had this play dialed up in the first half, and he pulled it down and tried to scramble. We're going to run it again, but now we're going to try and force it. Quan Alexander should really have this interception, and he could have been going the other direction. Out of sync with the receiver. He had Sterling Moore back behind behind that would have had a shot at that interception?
3rd down and 6. Grimes in the backfield. Washington in motion. Allen to Grimes. Not enough for a 1st down. So the field goal unit comes out onto the field for the Texans.
Good job by Sterling Moore. You've got combination routes on the outside. 6 yards to go for the 1st down. You're going to dump it off to Jonathan Grimes, see if he has enough space to make that 1st down. Good pursuit from the inside out.
Bullock hit the right upright earlier on a 43-yard attempt. This from 39. From the right hash. High snap. Leckler able to handle it. And Bullock's kick is good. So the Texans regain the lead. There's Quentin Dempsey. The pick moments ago of Jameis Winston leading to a Houston field goal.
Is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Pizza Hut. Bring home the flavor only at Pizza Hut. And by Samsung. Introducing the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus and the new Galaxy Note 5.
Beautiful day in Houston. Texans with a 1-point lead. There's Quentin Dempsey. His interception led to the go-ahead field goal. Winston's first turnover of the day. Rainey back deep. And he will not take it out. Bucs will start from the 20 as we check in downstairs with Holly.
Yes, guys, had a chance to talk to Bill O'Brien on his way out of the tunnel after halftime, and he said that the word for the second half is conversion. They've been very committed to the run game so far this past week in practice. He said he likes how they're executing it, but they have to convert. He noted that for 20 minutes of the first half, they had the ball on their side, and he said they have to convert. That is absolutely crucial. They're also loving this crowd, the noise. It's really working in their favor.
I agree. We talked about that crowd at the start of the game with Tampa Bay backed up, and I'm going to echo it too. You make a commitment to the run. He told us that the offensive line was not the issue. With all the changes that they should be able to run it effectively, he stayed true to it, and we saw that evidenced in the first half.
Now Winston, play action on 1st down, fires downfield, too far for Evans.
I didn't like that decision either. That's not a throwaway. You get a little bit aggressive. We've had a double coverage interception on the last play by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, playing underneath and over the top. This one we've got side by side. You've got 2 people on Mike Evans again. He's that good. He's going to draw double coverage from time to time. Don't forget, you've got Vincent Jackson out there, who's a pretty good wide receiver as well.
Evans split to the left, Jackson right side. Evans 4 receptions today, Jackson with 2. On 2nd down, Bucs keep it on the ground with Doug Martin. And Martin gains a couple, so a 3rd and long, 3rd down and 8 coming up for Tampa Bay.
But I do like their play calls. On 1st and 2nd down, they're getting a little bit more aggressive with those. Now the confidence to be able to come in at 3rd down. So let's be an aggressive play caller on the 1st down, take a shot down the field. We'll turn around and hand it off to Doug Martin on 2nd down, get some positive yards. But let's see what we can do here. The critical down in football, 3rd down.
Winston just 1 for his last 7, including the Dempsey interception. Must get to the 30 for a 1st down. And they will not, as that pass sails away from Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, but I think you're going to get a flag on John Simon, number 51. Looks like he might have been down low around Jameis Winston's legs.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 51. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Fighting his way through the middle of that line of scrimmage. Coming in, you have to be responsible for the control of your body. John Simon is down low around Jameis Winston's knees. Got to get a flag for you every time.
So we'll keep this drive alive for the Bucs. Early 3rd quarter, trailing by 1. Kevin Pamfield in as an extra blocker, number 64. To the left. Off the left tackle, Donovan Smith. first down. It's Martin. Up the middle, keeps his feet moving. And he's out to the 44-yard line, gain of 7 for Martin.
As a young quarterback, one of the things you have to utilize is your cadence at the line of scrimmage, the ability to change the play, get your offense into the right spot, and there's so much more that goes on playing that position as a young quarterback in the NFL. He's handled a lot of it extremely well at this stage.
Second down and 3. On the delay, it's Martin. And he is bottled up. Net first by Vince Wilfork.
Yeah. You want to get Vince Wilfork moving side to side if you're going to run against him. You don't want to run right downhill at big 75. You can see he's just got that whole thing bottled up inside. Brian Cushing, 56 as well. Bernardrick McKinney. That's a pretty stout interior of a defensive front.
11 seasons with the New England Patriots. 5 Pro Bowls. Vince Wilfork. Third down and 5. Winston to Evans, could not hang on. It is ruled an incomplete pass.
He may be saying catch and down with the knee down.
Wow. He did not have it for very long. Phil McKinley, the head linesman, came running in.
Coming off the bottom of the screen, the slant, catch, possession, knee down, ball stripped out.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down by progress prior to the fumble. First down.
I think that's a good call, Kenny. I think he's got possession of the ball. His knee is down. We're going to get a challenge from Coach O'Brien.
So Bill O'Brien challenging the play.
Houston is challenging the ruling on the field for the runner down by contact. Timeout.
So Bill Vinovich will take a look at it. The last play under review ruled a catch on the field. Challenged by Bill O'Brien. Bill Vinovich back out on the field.
After reviewing the play, the runner did not maintain possession when he hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It's fourth down and 5 yards to go on the left hash at the 41-yard line. Houston.
So Evans did not maintain control. We welcome in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, do you agree with Bill Vinovich?
100%, even though the challenge was about being down by contact, you look at the whole play, and this is part of the process of going to the ground, and you're going to see the ball get knocked out right there. It gets knocked out loose in his hand, and that's not maintaining control of the ball all the way through the process. A good reversal to incomplete.
Good job by A.J. Boyer staying with that, too, making sure that that ball was dislodged.
So Bill O'Brien remains perfect. He's 3-0 on challenges this season.
That's become such a tough call this year. The incomplete, complete.
Well, the Texans get the ball back early third quarter, trailing by 1. Taken at the 3 by Worthy. Ball comes loose. And the Texans able to recover.
I tell you what, Chandler Worthy has to go over and thank Whitney Merciless, because that was a huge play right there, recovering that fumble. When the other team is kicking in and you're fielding it as a punt returner, you should line up on the depth where you do not turn around. You're going to see right there as Chandler Worthy starts drifting back. He goes all the way back to the 2-yard line. Our cutoff point was the 8-yard line. Our punt returner would line up on the 8. If it was over his head, He never went backwards to field it. That's the reason why you do that. He is so fortunate that that wasn't a huge turnover for the Houston Texans.
Coughed it up and Merciless recovered. Worst starting field position of the day, and the play is blown dead. False start.
False start. Offense number 74. Half the distance of the goal. Still first down.
That's on Chris Clark, the left tackle. The Texans still without Brandon Brooks. He suffered the ankle injury late in the second quarter. This season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. At the distance on the penalty, so 1st and 13 as Sterling Moore got a piece of that attempt by Ryan Mallett.
That's a nice job coming off the edge on the blitz, but if you're not going to get there, you see it coming out, elevate, look at him even reaching out. Great hand-to-eye coordination right there by Sterling Moore, getting a deflection on that.
Like Ryan Mallett, Sterling Moore, a former New England Patriot. 2nd down and 13. Three wide receivers. Mallett out of the shotgun from the end zone. Play clock winding down. Mallett floats one up. He was looking for Hopkins. It will be 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, a little miscommunication between Ryan Mallett and DeAndre Hopkins right there. DeAndre Hopkins kind of shut that one down, and Ryan Mallett expected him to continue on that downfield fade.
Texans had success early. Just one for their last 6 on 3rd down.
You heard Bill O'Brien talk to Holly about converting. It's been a while.
Texans keep it on the ground and will punt it away. Again, Sterling Moore coming in along with Quan Alexander to wrap up Jonathan Grimes.
Sterling Moore had a nice series there, had the deflection early on in that set, and then in on the tackle there. All started by that poor decision to field the punt by Chandler Worthy.
So now Leckler from deep in his end zone. Good kick. Taken at the 42 by Rainey. In Texans territory, stumbles down. Excellent field position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who trail by a point.
A los linieros que dice, hey, estás asignado con tal o cual, con el liniero o con el linebacker, tómalo porque viene el disparo. Envío rápido, completo, touchdown. La anotación por parte del equipo de Houston, que abre ya finalmente los cartones. Mallett en una ofensiva rítmica.
The call on Spanish radio, Texans and Buccaneers join the NFL and all 32 clubs in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. This year, the NFL is launching a campaign called Feel the Orgullo, which means feel the pride, to celebrate the diversity and rich traditions of Latinos in the NFL and our country. As Martin breaks free, picks up a 1st down and more. Doug Martin all the way to the Houston 26-yard line. He gains 18. That's his best run of the day.
Absolutely, just coming straight downhill, right up the middle into the heart. They've got the cross blitz on. Great play call. Quentin Demps too low there, and then they don't wrap up. They just come on and try to put a big hit on Doug Martin. You got to wrap him up.
From the 27, it's Martin again up the middle. And the question is, was he ruled down? He was at the 23. Continued along, gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Buccaneers running up the middle with Vince Wilfork on the sidelines. Christian Covington, rookie out of Rice, in a nose tackle.
Good recognition by offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter.
Martin stays on his feet and then is caught from behind by Cushing. No gain on the play.
Yeah, but he took a loss of 5 and turned it into no gain. That was a great job getting away from Jadeveon Clowney, because Jadeveon Clowney has this thing blown up in the backfield right there, and that's a good spin move by Doug Martin. Buccaneers running up the middle with Vince Wilfork on the sidelines. Christian Covington, rookie out of Rice, in a nose tackle. Good recognition by offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter.
Cushing came in to bring him down. 3rd down and 6. Sims in the backfield. 3 receivers set. Bucs must get to the 17. Winston throws to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Vincent Jackson.
They got to pay off Donovan Smith on this, because what the Houston Texans did, they put J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney together, so you can't double team. So he's all by himself out on that left island. That's a good job giving Jameis Winston the time to make this throw down the field to Vincent Jackson. A little double move. 1 foot. Doesn't look like he ever got that second one down.
It was ruled a touchdown. All scoring plays are reviewed. 1 foot down.
The previous play is under review.
Well, Bill Vinovich will take a look at it. We'll be back. There's Vincent Jackson. His catch ruled a touchdown. We go down to the field and Bill Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed. It's an incomplete pass. It's 4th down and 23-yard line.
This one is so obvious, they've got the field goal team lined up ready to go right now. They didn't have to wait for Bill Vinovich's call.
So, points are taken off the board. Here's Kyle Brinson, who hit from 58 earlier. This a 41-yard attempt. And Brinson's kick is no good. Wide to the right. So the Texans maintain a 1-point lead.
Well, we saw the distance that he can carry with that 58-yard kick early in the game, but this one's going to skirt wide right, and he's had the hit on the upright on the extra point.
It's the life of the kicker. Hit a 58-yarder earlier, but has missed an extra point and a field goal attempt. So the Texans maintain their 1-point lead as Polk takes it out to the 35-yard line. So another opportunity for Ryan Mallett and the Texans offense following the missed field goal.
But missed opportunities for points for Tampa Bay. They play it kind of the way you would hope to have the opportunity. Your punt team goes down, you get a mistake, you don't get the ball back, but your defense goes out, plays great, force the other team to punt, get on a short field, and you don't take advantage of that situation.
And now Mallett fires, and it's caught out at midfield by DeAndre Hopkins. A 16-yard completion, and Jenkins is slow to get up.
Mike Jenkins is working against DeAndre Hopkins right there. Couldn't really see a whole lot as he came in for the tackle.
Now remember, he's already filling in for the starter, Jonathan Banks, who was injured in the first half. False start.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
That's on Derek Newton. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
And time for another touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones, over 100 yards receiving, 45 of it coming on this pass from Matt Ryan. They had a 2-point conversion. It's a 3-point game late in the 3rd. Kenny Moose and Holly.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Cowboys, of course, found both Tony Romo and Dez Bryant. 1st and 15 following the penalty. It's Hopkins. Back to the 49-yard line. The ex-Cowboy, Bruce Carter, makes the tackle. Alteron Verner now at right corner. He had been the starter, but Tim Jennings replaced him in left corner today. And now Verner, the 3rd different Buck, to man the right corner spot with the injuries to Banks and Jenkins. Polk in the backfield, 2nd and 9. And Polk runs right into the arms of William Golston.
Well, you need to block the defensive end on a running play. I mean, he comes completely free. He's right at the end of the line of scrimmage. Nobody touches him. They're lucky you don't have a turnover right there, because Chris Polk is not expecting to get hit at that point in the backfield.
Loss of 3 on the play. Now 3rd down and 12 for the Texans, who lead by a point. Quick release. Allen's pass is complete to Shorts, but he is met immediately and taken down by Tim Jennings. So the Texans now 0 for their last 6 on 3rd down and will punt it away.
We mentioned how important the turnover battle is. The other one inside of a game is the 3rd down battle. And right now, both of these teams struggling to convert on 3rd down.
Leckler punting from his 34-yard line. Good kick. Forcing Rainey all the way back to the 3. But Rainey with a nice return. Out across the 25-yard line. 53-yard punt, 23 on the return.
Take a look at those numbers right there. Kind of similar. And let's not forget, Ryan Mallett has been in the league for 5 years, but this is only his 4th start. This is Jameis Winston's 3rd start as a rookie. And again, the big thing for young quarterbacks, those interceptions at the bottom. Now, Ryan Mallett's was off a deflected pass. Jameis Winston's was a bad decision.
Each with 1 touchdown pass as well. So Winston and the Bucs trailing by a point. Start from their 26-yard line. 4.5 remaining, 3rd quarter. On 1st down, off the fake to Martin. Winston chased by Cushing. Throws it away.
You get so much attention focused on one player, somebody else is going to come through, so you're going to focus on Watt, but we're going to have blitzes. Brian Cushing is going to read and then come late. But look at all the guys that are concerned about J.J. Watt. You got 3 guys out there working on him, and that's what I said at the top. If you're getting that much attention and the offense is that much concerned with you, some of these other guys have to start producing sacks and pressures away from J.J. Watt.
From the 26 on 2nd down. Winston to Mike Evans. Wrapped up by Jonathan Joseph out of the 32-yard line. Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Didn't really have an opportunity to see Mike Evans play a lot last season, but very impressed with him. I mean, he is everything that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers talked to us about, having him back in the lineup in full speed. He and Vincent Jackson on the outside, and then if you get Austin Seferian-Jenkins back here in a month or so, boy, those are 3 big bodies getting down the field.
Evans from Galveston, another one of those Texas natives on the Bucs roster. Tampa Bay just 1 for 9 on 3rd down. Making 1 for 10. Evans, the intended receiver.
I mean, as big as Mike Evans is and the radius that he has to catch, that's just a little bit high. Again, very fortunate that you don't have a deflected pass picked off by Jonathan Joseph right there as he's breaking on the football.
Shorts back deep for the Texans. Take it at the 15 and then met immediately. Nice play on special teams made by Russell Shepard. Well, October means baseball, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action. The American League Division and Championship Series beginning October 8th on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 2 Texas teams getting together this weekend. Rangers with a 3.5 game lead in the West on the Astros. Jameis Winston, a Texas Rangers draft pick back in 2012. He played baseball at Florida State.
Well, the Rangers had Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
That's right. the Texans start from the 16-yard line. This is Alfred Blue. After the 18 gain of 2, Levante David made the tackle as we approach 3 minutes remaining, third quarter here in Houston. Texans looking for their first win following losses to the Chiefs here at home. Panthers by 7 on the road last week. Second down and 8. Allen laying one out for Hopkins. Jennings defending.
And Tim Jennings pulled up right at the end. He's down on the sideline, and you mentioned it early, Kenny, already very, very thin at that cornerback spot in the secondary right here at the bottom of the screen. Let's see what happened at the end of this.
Bucs have already lost 2 corners today. Now Mike Jenkins returning to the field, so that's good news for Tampa Bay. We've not seen Jonathan Banks since injuring his knee in the first half.
I'll tell you, the ones that are scariest to me is when you don't see something obvious where it's just a straight leg plant. Nobody rolled up on anybody, and yet a player of Tim Jennings' caliber stays down.
There's Mike Jenkins, former Cowboy and Raider, who missed the first 2 weeks. Injured earlier today. He's back. Alteron Werner replaced Banks and Jenkins at right corner earlier. As Jennings is helped onto his feet, we head west to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, another injury to keep an eye on. The Steelers' Ben Roethlisberger. He's back to pass. Mark Barron, the one-time Buccaneer, goes low on him. Roethlisberger carted off with a knee injury. Michael Vick now in the game in relief. Pittsburgh on top in St. Louis 9-3, but obviously things not looking good for them. As we get it back down to Houston, Kenny, Moose, and Holly.
All right, Kurt, and we were in Pittsburgh last week, and Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense did a terrific job against San Francisco.
They really did, especially after watching San Francisco against Minnesota and how well that defense played. Ben Roethlisberger and Pittsburgh's offense were virtually unstoppable last week. Great to see Tim Jennings walking off under his own power, because those ones where you really can't see anything but they go down and they start checking the knee and everything, those are the ones that scare me the most, because things happen so crazily when you land awkwardly on one single leg.
Without Werner at left corner, Jenkins right corner. On third down, it is Grimes, and he looks to have it up for the first.
Been a long time since we've had a first down on third down, Lenny.
That's right. Texans have not converted on their last 6 attempts.
And it's hard to get into this type of up-tempo offense if you're not getting first down. So we've seen the kind of stagnant play by this Texans offense through the third quarter.
Here's Grimes. Out to the 34, gain of 7. Second down and 3. Allen from the shotgun hands it off to Blue. And Alfred Blue is met by his former teammate at LSU, Quan Alexander. Blue did pick up enough for the first, so the Texans again able to move the chains. Houston with a 1-point lead. Late third quarter.
I'm in the gun. I'm back. Stay right there.
On first and 10 from the 38-yard line, there is a flag as Hopkins makes the catch in Buccaneers territory. Again, we'll check in with Bill Vinovich.
Offside. Defense number 92. Penalties declined. Result of the play. First down.
William Golston. Penalty decline. 7th catch of the day for Hopkins. From midfield on first down to the 48-yard line of the Bucs. Blue gains 2.
We talked at the top about the 58 attempts last week by Ryan Mallett in this offense. You see that play calling today, and we started out at 8-8, and they've maintained that balance all the way through here, almost to the end of the third quarter. Been very productive for them offensively.
Well, now the Texans on 2nd and 8, empty the backfield. Blues split wide to the left. As Mallett tries to connect with Washington, could not. And Mallett is shaken up.
Nate Washington never saw the ball delivered in his direction. He's down here on the outside. The ball is up in the air. He doesn't get his head back around. He doesn't know it. That was well thrown by Ryan Mallett. Watch it just sail over the top of Nate Washington.
Still looking for it. And George Johnson of the Bucs remains down.
Everything rolled up. You can see that ankle twist on Ryan Mallett, that right ankle twist as George Johnson went down.
Johnson 6 sacks last season for the Lions. He limps off. Mallett looks to be all right as he returns to the huddle. It'll be 3rd down and 8. And we talked about the quarterback competition with Bill O'Brien. There's Brian Hoyer. O'Brien telling us that competition was very close during training camp in the preseason. He said Hoyer was a little more consistent, but in that week 1 game against Kansas City in the second half, he felt the team needed a spark, and he made the move to Ryan Mallett. Mallett and Hoyer, of course, together in New England as well, backing up Tom Brady. 3rd down and 8. Catches made by Grimes. Not enough for the first down. Sterling Moore made the tackle.
And we've talked about the success that Houston has had in the running game here this afternoon, but we have to talk about the pass protection as well. This is a good front for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. Here on 4th down, they'll let it run down, take a decision. You're right on that cusp, Kenny. You're right in that real difficult spot. You know, you're too far for the field goal attempt. You really want to punt the ball here. What do you consider your defense? How do you think that they're playing right now? If we go for this on 4th down, are we confident our defense with that field position can get us the ball back quickly without giving up points?
Well, Bill O'Brien will have a couple of minutes to think about it as the third quarter comes to an end in Houston with the Texans leading by 1. Bill O'Brien has sent his punting unit out onto the field on 4th down, leading by a point as we begin the 4th quarter. Fleckler from his 45. Brady takes it at the 10. Out to the 15-yard line.
Well, we talked at the top, the defense or the players to watch. We had J.J. Watt and Gerald McCoy, and here's some sack leaders from last year. Ja'Quez Smith in the game today leading the pack with 4. Justin Houston, the leader last year from 2014. But let's compliment both of these offensive lines. It's been a quiet day.
There has been 1 sack in the game. Henry Melton of the Bucs.
And that was kind of the scramble sack. You know, he just didn't get all the way back to the line of scrimmage.
There's Ja'Quez Smith. League leader with 4 over the first 2 weeks. Charles Sims in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. And Sims takes the handoff from Winston. And he's out to the 23, a gain of 8. Charles Sims, the Houston native, who has the only touchdown of the game for Tampa Bay.
We talked about Doug Martin, but this is a nice 1-2 punch with Charles Sims there to spell him as well.
Extra blocker in once again on the right side. Kevin Panfield for Tampa Bay on 2nd down and 2. This is Sims, and good push, and Sims picks up a first down out to the 26-yard line. Jameis Winston in his 3rd career start. The last quarterback drafted 1st overall, Darryl, to win his first 2 career road starts. You have to go all the way back to John Elway in 1983. Winston winning his first road start last week in New Orleans.
A very difficult place to play, and this has been a loud stadium this afternoon. A little bit of a struggle there early on in the game, handling the crowd noise, but much better since that second series.
They fake, got rid of it before he was hit by J.J. Watt, and the catch is made by Louis Murphy in Texans territory. Just got rid of it in time. He saw Watt coming.
He buys himself just a little bit of time, and one of the things for a rookie quarterback that he has done well is just buy that little extra tick, just that little slide to his left, knows J.J. Watt is coming in, and let me tell you what, he gives his guys an opportunity to make a play. We've seen him put a couple of jump ball situations up there, and his guys are coming down with the majority of them.
33-yard pass play, longest play of the day for the Bucs. Offensively, 1st and 10 from the Texans 41. Winston spins, moving to his left. And now he dumps it off to the tight end, Brandon Myers.
And that'll be just a little bit of a growth process for these guys, understanding what Jameis wants to do when he breaks contain. He wants to throw the ball. We had a couple of guys downfield. They're looking to block for him. You see right there, Brandon Myers, he's a little bit late, recognizing that he wants to continue that route and try and throw the ball down the field.
8 of 4. 2nd down and 6. Winston from under center. Winston throws, and coming back to make the catch is Murphy. It's ruled a completion at the Texans' 18-yard line.
Big series for Louis Murphy right here. The great catch on that jump ball situation. Now the back shoulder fade. That's a heck of a job going and digging that one off the turf before it gets there.
And here comes the challenge flag. Did Bill O'Brien throw it in time? Does not look like he did as the Bucs hurried up to the line. And Sims takes it to the 13. So Bill O'Brien threw the flag, but it looked like the snap had already taken place. And you cannot go back, of course, after the play was
Prior
run.
to the snap, Houston is challenging the previous ruling on the field.
All right, so Bill Vinovich says that the flag was thrown. One of the officials saw the flag prior to the snap. But it does look like Murphy got his hands under it.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King. Kick off fall with a new Oreo Pumpkin Spice Shake. By Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. And by Lowe's. Hurry in this week for great fall savings.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver had both hands underneath the ball and maintained possession. Houston is charged with the first time out, and they're out of challenges. Please reset the game clock to 11 minutes, 49 seconds.
We agree with Bill Vinovich. Murphy had his hands under it. Good catch.
Great job by Louis Murphy. That ball never even touches the ground. Possession all the way through.
So Winston is now connected on 4 of his last 5 attempts. And for the Bucs, Darryl, this will be their 47th play of the game. Their first inside the 20. In the red zone for the first time on 1st down, it is Sims. And he gains 3 down to the 15-yard line, 2nd and 7.
In that game within the game, when you start to break down the different areas, turnovers, number 1 you go to, we're even there. And then we've talked about 3rd down, converting on 3rd down. Both teams have struggled mightily here in the second half, trying to convert these 3rd downs. And then red zone. Tampa Bay's defense really struggled. The Texans scoring on their only opportunity in the red zone. Here's the Buccaneers with their first chance.
Remember, both teams have missed a field goal. Buccaneers missed an extra point attempt. 1-point game. 2nd down and 7. From the 15. Winston to the end zone. Evans, the intended receiver. Jackson on the coverage. No flags.
Well, we've seen a couple of calls during the course of the game where it's been called very, very tight. In this situation, they're going to let him play. Kareem Jackson, Mike Evans, a lot of hand checking down the field, determined that it's equal, no advantage gained by either one, no flag on that play.
So it will be 3rd down and 7. Buccaneers just 1 for 10 today on third down. They must get to the 8 for a first. Winston throws, and it's incomplete, off the hands of Evans. So Tampa Bay will send out the field goal unit. Evans slow to get back up onto his feet.
And probably just a little bit of cramping here today. He has really been all over the field, and remember, he's coming back off that injury, so this is his first opportunity to have that full game. This slant is thrown just a little bit on that back shoulder, unable to spin and make that catch.
So this will be a 33-yard attempt. Remember, Brent had missed an extra point earlier from 33 yards out. Connected on a 58-yard field goal, missed from 41. From the left hash to give the Bucs the lead. And Brent's kick is no good. Wide to the right. His second miss today after hitting from 58 in the second quarter. So special teams haunting the Buccaneers today. Kyle Brinzer, the rookie out of Notre Dame, he was in camp with the Lions, signed by the Bucs prior to the start of the regular season. On top of the world earlier today when he hit a 58-yard field goal, but has missed 3 kicks, leaving 7 points off the board. 2 field goals and an extra point attempt. Play action for Mallett on first down. And he finds Hopkins. There is a flag. DeAndre Hopkins makes the catch at the Tampa Bay 48-yard line, 30-yard completion.
That's a heck of a throw by Ryan Mallett coming down off the bottom. It's a deep in route. It's a long, hard play action. There's your deep route with Nate Washington. Covered well by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but a courageous throw by Ryan Mallett.
After the completed catch during the run, personal foul, face mask, defense number 23, 15-yard penalty.
That's the second face mask penalty called on Chris Conte today. So a 30-yard catch, add on 15 more. Seventh Buccaneers penalty. From the 33-yard line of Tampa Bay. 8 of 3 for Alfred Blue on first down.
He's run hard today. You know, he's allowed the coaches to stay committed to the running game. All these running backs today for the Houston Texans, running back by committee, all have been productive and allowed the coaches to feel comfortable coming back to the running game.
Texans gained only 61 yards on the ground last week against Carolina, 58 pass attempts in that game, but they've been very balanced today. They stuck to the run, and after some confusion and miscommunication, Blue gets swallowed up at the 31-yard line, a loss of 1.
Well, I don't know if it's miscommunication or just you have to single Gerald McCoy inside. I think that was communicated well. I just think you had a very, very talented interior defensive lineman blow that thing up.
So now the Texans facing a third down and 8. There's a flag. Diving catch is made by Cecil Shorts for Texans first down.
Fourth quarter's belonging to the number 18s. It was Louis Murphy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now it's Cecil Shorts for the Texans.
Holding. Defense number 26. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
6th catch of the game for Shorts, who spent the last 4 years in Jacksonville out of Division III Mount Union. So a new set of downs for the Texans, who lead by 1. This is Blue, and he will take it all the way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown.
pace today with the football. He's pressed that lane. He stayed on that line in that zone blocking scheme, and when he's made his decision, he has gone straight north and south. Press, press, press. Now watch Nate Washington down the field with the block in the secondary. Excellent job. That's how you have long touchdown runs, when you've got wide receivers working down the field.
Lou's first touchdown of the season. He goes over 100 yards on the ground today. Second career 100-yard game. Bullock. Wow, is wide right. We have had 5 missed kicks today. 3 missed field goals, 2 missed extra point attempts. But no doubt on this run by Alfred Blue, Texans by 7.
Sponsored by the Quesarito and Volcano Quesarito Big Boxes. Grab them at Taco Bell.
7-point lead for the Houston Texans, and there's a look on Bill O'Brien's face after the missed extra point. His kicker, Randy Bullock, has missed 1 field goal and 1 extra point. On the other side, Kyle Brinson has missed 2 field goal attempts and an extra point for the Bucs.
Points are at a premium in this game. It has been the defensive battle we thought. Points would be tough to come by, and leaving a bunch of them off the board in special teams.
And now Randy takes it out from 5 yards deep. Down to the 20-yard line. With just over 9 minutes remaining. Here's Brinza, who connected from 58 off the right upright on an extra point attempt. Missed a 41-yard field goal attempt, and then a miss from 33 yards out. Perhaps it's the new turf.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the new turf.
I don't think so either.
And I think you made a great point. You know, Brinza starts off with that 58-yarder. I mean, you're on top of the world right now, and now all of a sudden you're in a huge funk.
Well, now the crowd on its feet with the Texans defense on the field trying to protect the 7-point lead. Winston and the Bucs start from their 21 as Winston fires downfield, and Murphy this time unable to hang on.
Great timing by Jonathan Joseph. He's the player that's down right now. But boy, Louis Murphy's been coming out all day today. Here he goes down the field. Great adjustment over the top, and look at the timing by Jonathan Joseph on that hit.
And Joseph shaken up. He heads to the sidelines, replaced by A.J. Boye. Second and 10. On the delay, Winston handing it off to Charles Sims. Sims out to the 26, gain of 5. So 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Bucs. Who trail by 7.
It has been a struggle for him here all day off, not just here in the second half for Tampa Bay. It's been a struggle all afternoon on 3rd down.
Now 1 for 11. Bucs must get to the 31. And they will not. Winston looking for Evans. Buccaneers will punt it away.
Trying to free J.J. Watt up, so you bring people up, try and occupy everybody around him. You've got Quentin Demps on the outside. You've got Brian Cushing inside. There's your back helping out, trying to elevate, knock that pass down. But this one is just a little bit too far forward. We've seen Jameis Winston down the stretch be a little bit behind. This time he's just a little bit out in front of Mike Evans.
Shorts back deep for the Texans. From the 25, there is a flag. Shorts out of bounds after a gain of 4 on the return.
During the return, Holding. Receiving team number 30. 10-yard penalty. Houston keeps the ball. First down.
That's Kevin Johnson.
Last time the Texans had the ball, a couple of big plays to get him out of there early. Great throw by Ryan Mallett on that one. Cecil Shorts with a big catch. And then Alfred Blue, great patience, great blocking down the field by Nate Washington. Right down the field very quickly. But again, one of those missed extra points could have forced it to an 8-point game where now you've got to go for 2 for the tie. Right now Tampa Bay can score. I shouldn't say it's an easy opportunity, right? The way the kicking game's been going, anything could happen going for that extra point.
Maybe you should go for 2.
Regardless, just go for 2.
On first down, short gain for Alfred Blue.
It's a conversation you have with the coaches each week, Kenny. You ask them about the PAT this year.
And how about this? First time since January 1st, 2006, a missed extra point by each team. Of course, it's a longer extra point this season. 33-yard kick. And it's been interesting to hear the philosophy from the various head coaches. Pittsburgh Steelers last week going for 2 twice early in the game. This play is blown dead.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Tennessee and Jacksonville back in 06, each missing an extra point last time prior to today. When we asked Lovie Smith about it yesterday, the thought process, kicking the long extra point and going for 2, he said it's certainly tempting to go for 2, although I have a kicker with a strong leg. We saw that strong leg early in the game on the 58-yard field goal, but Brigza has missed 3 kicks since, accounting for a total of 7 points not put up on the scoreboard for the Bucs. Last season, around the NFL, only 8 missed extra points. You move it back to a 33-yard attempt. Coming into play this week, there have already been more misses, 9 misses over the first 2 weeks.
And you go back and you look at, well, what was the field goal percentage of that 33-yard field goal last season? It was over 90%.
Third down and 7. Complete to Washington for a first down. And a number of coaches we've spoken with feel that as we get into November and December in cold weather cities, more teams will go for 2.
Absolutely. I think that's when it becomes a decision that becomes harder for the coaches to make.
New set of downs for the Texans. From the 37-yard line as we approach 6 minutes remaining. No issues with weather today, of course. New turf, the roof is closed here in Houston.
Yeah, it's not going to get much better than it is this afternoon, and both sides have still struggled.
Put it mildly. Terrific second effort and a first down. It's Alfred Blue who continues to run hard. He gains 12.
Watch the quick feet here, though. We talked about his patience. Look at that, a little bit of a jump cut right there as he sees everything get washed up the field and jumps in behind it, and then is able to get his shoulder squared down the field for the first down. Has run really well this afternoon. Arian Foster's got to be proud of his guy behind him with the afternoon that he's had.
127 yards for Blue. His career best is 156 against the Browns as a rookie last season. Here is Blue. And this time he's swallowed up by the combination of Golston and David. And slow to get up is William Golston, now back on his feet. Second career 100-yard day. 6th round pick last year out of LSU. He scored the touchdown earlier this quarter for the Texans, which extended their lead to 7 as we hit 5 minutes remaining in Houston.
Railroad! 58 Linda! I was slicing! Railroad! Sorry, go!
Fires on second down, and that is broken up. It's Bruce Carter.
Audible at the line of scrimmage. You heard Ryan Mallett, and Bruce Carter just going to drop back, find that spot. Ryan Mallett, very lucky, passes one, gets underneath as he steps back in. Had a couple of receivers in the same spot there. Maybe some confusion on that play change at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 10. Pass intended for Hopkins. There is a flag. Werner defending.
Take a look on the outside. Alteron Werner is going to be out here to the left. Steps up
Pass
the press.
interference. Defense number 21. Spot foul. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, contact through the back, trying to come around, hook and pull. You could have called that one a number of different ways.
Nine Bucs penalties. Played early on, flagged 3 times on their first possession of the game. As the clock continues to run, another flag with 4.5 to play.
12 men. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
This has been an issue all afternoon. Tampa Bay has had to use 2 timeouts to prevent it. There was actually a call by the officials early in the game where they picked up the flag thinking there was 12 men on the field. So a personnel issue that Tampa Bay has struggled with all afternoon, getting 11 guys on the field with their substitutions.
There's Leslie Frazier, their defensive coordinator.
And the big thing about these penalties that we're seeing, we talked about both teams through the 3rd quarter here really struggling on their 3rd down conversions, and Tampa Bay's defense making it easy on this drive for Houston to hang on to this and burn this clock.
So now 10 Tampa Bay penalties. 1st down and 5. The handoff goes to the fullback, Jay Crush. Crowd likes it. So do you.
You know, you've got Alfred Blue having a heck of a game, and then all of a sudden you turn around, it's just a quick handoff to Jay Prosh inside. And you know, he gets underneath everybody, and watch all of his teammates. They just keep driving, pushing down the field.
And that's legal. You can push a teammate from behind. He's the ball carrier. 2nd carry of the season by Prosh. From the 30 on 1st down, it's Blue. Russell down by Quan Alexander. Gain of 9.
This is that critical part of the game where it's important to have that effective running game, because you can really just start to grind this clock out. And compliments to this entire offense for the Houston Texans. This is being accomplished against a very good Tampa Bay defensive front. They take a lot of pride in stopping the run.
Buccaneers stop the clock. With 3:32 remaining, use their 1st timeout. Well, you know, there's only one place on television where bad is so good. This season on Gotham, villains will rise to a new level of criminal chaos. Gotham, Rise of the Villains. Catch an all-new episode tomorrow right here on Fox. Houston Texans with a 7-point lead. In search of their first victory of the season. Jameis Winston can only look on from the sidelines. 2nd down and 1. It's Blue. Finally brought down by Clinton McDonald. Not enough for the first, stop just short. And now the Buccaneers will use their 2nd timeout with 3:22 to play.
They've got to save as much time as they possibly can and hope that this does not become a 2-possession game if the Texans can convert. And coming into the game, a lot of questions about this Houston Texan running game. Arian Foster wasn't going to be able to play. Their 3rd different starting offensive 5, no worries. Alfred Blue has had a heck of a day, and credit the offensive coaches for staying with them and having them have the opportunity to build on it. Sometimes the running game just takes a little bit longer to hit its stride, and I think it's one of the things that the guys felt they didn't have the opportunity to get into that rhythm running the football. And they had a strong commitment to the run at the start of the game. They stayed with it throughout the game, and it's paid big dividends for them.
Arian Foster on the sidelines. He's missed the first 3 games. We're down at 1. It's Prosh! And Jay Prosh has a first down, takes it all the way down to the Buccaneers' 5-yard line.
Those quick hitters inside. You know, you're offset. Here's Jay Prosh right here at the fullback spot. Watch how quick he's going to hit this. Quan Alexander kind of gets caught in no man's land thinking that they're going to come out on the edge with Alfred Blue. He's actually unblocked. I thought Jay Prosh was going to break this one, get into the end zone.
Darrell always has a big smile on his face whenever the football is handed off to the fullback, and you have just witnessed the longest run of Jay Prosh's NFL career.
Absolutely. It's only a 3rd carry right there. That's fantastic. You know, we've had 2 good ones in here. Jaworski Lane for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another guy you watch on film, plays that unheralded position very well. You get your token carries now and again, but your job is to be the lead blocker, an outlet receiver. They're both very physical, but you can see right there, those quick hitters inside. It gets on that defense so fast, and sometimes there's some good running lanes.
Buccaneers out of timeouts. 1st and goal from the 5. Not much for Alfred Blue, and the Buccaneers unable to stop the clock, so the Texans will take as much time as they can, leading by 7. .183 yards on the ground for the Houston Texans today.
And that gives you the confidence in these situations to be able to grind this clock out the way Houston has down the field. And there's nothing more demoralizing for a defense to know that the offense is just wanting to pound the ball at you, take time off that clock, and you can't stop it.
2nd and goal from the 5. Here's Blue inside the 3 down to the 1-yard line. And the Texans did not have to run another play prior to the 2-minute warning.
Well, we've seen Jay Prosh as a ball carrier, now as the lead blocker, which is what his job really entails. Great vision on the scrape inside out by Quan Alexander. That's your Mike linebacker coming in trying to do a run through right there. He's able to recognize that, get a piece of him, allow Alfred Blue to get through that line.
Jay Prosh with a couple of key runs for first downs late in the 4th quarter.
That's one of the things that's underrated as a fullback is your vision, you know, to be able to see that. A lot of times it's not your assignment that becomes the critical block on a successful running play. And right there, Jay Prosh does a great job because he's kind of out in front. He's probably looking more at outside linebacker, but he sees Quan Alexander coming from that inside spot and is able to see and adjust his path and get him stoned and allow Alfred Blue to get down towards the goal line.
Yet another injury in the Bucs secondary. It's the former Texan DJ Swearinger, who will head to the sidelines. Spent the last 2 seasons here in Houston, 2nd-round pick back in 2013. As the clock now winds down to the 2-minute warning. Texans offense has been out on the field for over 35 minutes today. Texans lead Jameis Winston and the Bucs by 7. J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans 2 minutes away from their first victory of the season. Tampa Bay missing 3 kicks, 2 field goals and an extra point attempt. Texans facing a 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line with 2 minutes remaining. J.J. Watt out on the field on offense for the Texans. And rush will be stopped on third down.
Well, you know, once you get down here, everybody's watching for the fullback, and you can't even distract them by putting number 99 out there. You figure that might grab some attention. Mike Jenkins, the corner's like, what are you doing out here blocking me 8 yards deep in the end zone?
Remember, he scored 3 touchdowns on offense for the Texans last year.
Well, they've got a bootleg out to the right. If JJ lines up onto the right side, there's a fake pitch to the left, and then Ryan Mallett gets out to the right side, and JJ Watt is the receiver in that situation. So,
what a season it was last year for JJ Watt. Hit the 20 sack mark for the second time in the last 3 seasons, and he also scored 5 touchdowns, 3 on offense, 2 on defense.
He's amazing, and you watch out here on the field. I mean, he's being triple teamed. You're trying to come up with different ways to keep him out of the game, and for that reason, Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless, John Simon, these other guys that are in these one-on-one situations. You got Vince Wilfork inside you got to worry about. There's opportunities for these other guys on that defensive front to start becoming productive, because JJ's going to see these types of blocking schemes all season long, and he loves it. Because listen, there's nothing more demoralizing to a team that is game planning you not to have any big plays. And he goes, when I get a sack on a double team or a triple team, I know that that's just driving that coordinator crazy.
So here's Randy Bullock, and this field goal attempt, the equivalent of what the extra point used to be, from 19 yards away. Bullock missed one earlier as well as an extra point, but this time he connects, extending the Texans lead to 10 with 1:12 remaining.
Look how happy you get when you actually convert the kick. That's happy for Bill.
Jameis Winston on the Bucs, trailing by 10. Both Atlanta and Carolina have gone to 3-0 in the NFC South today. Buccaneers at 1-1 heading into this game. New Orleans now 0-3 following their loss to the Panthers. So the Buccaneers with no timeouts, trailing by 10. Rainey will let it go. Bucs will start from their 20.
And we've seen some crazy finishes in the NFL at this early stage of the season. The Kansas City-Denver game, you know, has that crazy ending. So who knows what's going to happen here? But this is where young quarterbacks start to build that repertoire, that catalog that they can go back to. So this is important for Jameis Winston right here. Let's be productive. Let's get down the field as quickly as possible. It's a tough situation. It's 2 possessions, 1:12, no timeouts. But let's see what you're going to do. Let's see how you perform in this setting.
They used all 3 timeouts on defense to stop the clock with under 4 minutes remaining with the Texans driving. Winston on first down, catch made by Murphy. Jackson the tackle, gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Under a minute to play. Winston to the far side, it's Evans, first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
I like the start right here. You know, he's been a little bit off in his targeting on the last couple of series prior to this one. This is one of his better throws we've seen here in the second half.
A win on the road in New Orleans for Winston and the Bucs last Sunday, trailed by 10 in the final minute today in Houston. The screen to Charles Sims. Stays in bounds, tackled by John Simon. Buccaneers out of timeouts. On the 45-yard line. Winston to the outside. It's Evans. Kevin Johnson wraps him up. Evans able to get out of bounds with 24 seconds on the clock.
Well, that was a good effort right there by Mike Evans, because he made the mistake of coming back inside.
And now they send out Brinza. Try and get 3 points and then get the ball back on an onside kick.
I like this decision because it's a 2-possession game. Save some time on that clock. You don't have any timeouts.
Try and get the points. It's a 57-yard attempt. He hit from 58 earlier. from the left hash. From 57. Bridges' kick is no good. Wide to the left. His third miss today.
But from a management of the game and from Lovie Smith's perspective, I do like that decision. With the time that's left on the clock, it's a two-possession game. You're going to have to convert the onside kick. You want as much time as you can possibly have to get that ball down the field to try and get it into the end zone to get the equalizer. And after being wide right the majority of the afternoon.
3 missed field goals and a mixed extra point. And then the two rookies, Winston and Brinza. Winston with some words of encouragement for his fellow rookie.
Well, one of the things that Lovie Smith needed to check on the Jameis Winston chart, that box, how does he handle the locker room and is he likable by all his guys? And that's one of the reasons that was an easy check mark for Lovie Smith to do. You can see the leadership. He's right there. Nobody feels worse than Kyle Brins in that situation. He wants to make sure he's there to make sure he's in a good spot mentally coming off. So impressed with Jameis Winston this afternoon, even though he didn't come away with the victory.
So the Houston Texans pick up their first win of the season. They will head to Atlanta next week. Buccaneers drop to 1-2. They will host Carolina next Sunday. We will return to Houston after these messages.